Hello, I am Madam Gracious Kanzieni from Educare, Tanzania. Warmly welcome in our media Educare TZ, so as you can proceed with our A-level tutorials. And here, my student, we have our chemistry subject and our class level is Form 5. We are proceeding with our main concern, which is the general chemistry in our second topic known as chemical bonding. The second topic known as chemical bonding. So my students, for today we are going to start to discuss on the issue of the characteristic of the covalent bond. I can remind you, in the previous session we tried to look on the issue of covalent and how does it relate their properties depending those factors which affecting the covalence by the Fajans rule. Lakini kama utakumbuka katika introduction ya hii chemical bonding tulisema kwamba in each types of bond ambapo ni electrovalent, covalent and metallic tutaona their characteristic. Sasa hapa tunaenda kuona characteristic za covalent bond. Okay, now let us start with the first one. The covalent bond have the general low melting and boiling point. Hii hapa ni among of the physical property. When we talk about the melting, boiling, hizi ni sifa ambazo it can be categorized as a physical. So these are the physical characteristic, kwamba huwa hizi compound, the covalent compounds zinakuwa na sifa ya kuwa na low melting as well as low boiling point. Sasa utaona ni vice versa ya electrovalent or ionic, kwa sababu kule tulisema kwamba they exhibit high melting point and boiling point, but here in the covalent bond they have general low melting and boiling point. The second one is the covalent bond are soluble in nonpolar solvent. Ni soluble ndio, lakini in which category? So specifically they are soluble in nonpolar solvent. Kwa maana katika polar solvent it will be difficult. Tutaenda kuona kuhusiana na the types of this, tutaona kuhusiana na polar and nonpolar. Sasa utaona kwamba hizi covalent compound they are specifically soluble in the nonpolar solvent. So this nonpolar solvent they include it include benzene and toluene, but also and generally insoluble in polar solvent like water. Sasa utaona kwamba hizi covalent compound zina sifa kuu mbili. Zenyewe ni insoluble lakini pia ni soluble. Sasa ni soluble kwenye kategori gani na insoluble kwenye kategori gani? Utaona kwamba they are soluble in nonpolar. For instance, katika benzene, katika toluene, utaona kwamba hizi covalent compound ni soluble. Lakini tunapokuja kwenye polar, you can see they are insoluble. For instance, water. Kwamba water is a polar solvent or is a polar compound. Kwa utaona kwamba all covalent compounds they are insoluble in this polar solvent, for instance water. That is all about. Another characteristic or another feature is all about usual gaseous and liquid at room temperature. So you can see the difference. Katika electrovalent tuliona kwamba they exist in crystalline as a solid at room temperature, but here in the covalent they are usual gaseous or sometimes they are liquids at room temperature. Kwa utaona kwamba most of the covalent compounds zina exhibit katika state of matter mbili. Sometimes zinakuwa usual, zinakuwa gaseous or gas we can say, lakini pia sometimes zinakuwa katika liquid state of matter. So that is all about. Kwa hiyo hizi sifa pia unaweza ukazitofautisha kwa namna hii. Hapa tunaongelea the state of matter. The state of matter. Lakini tukija hapa kwenye issue of soluble na insoluble tunaongelea issue ya solubility. Kwa hiyo unaweza uka take the point of solubility as the features or as a property of this covalent bond. Kwa hiyo ukija kwenye point ya solubility ndipo utaanza kuonyesha hizo category. Soluble kwenye nonpolars, lakini pia insoluble kwenye polar solvent. Lakini hapa tunaongelea issue of nini? State of matter, ile physical state. Kwa utaona kwamba mostly usually they exist as a gaseous, lakini pia sometimes as a liquid at room temperature. But another characteristic of this covalent compound is they do not conduct electricity. Remember, covalent compound, they involve only sharing of the electron between two nanometers. Maana kwamba ni nanometer mbili tofauti ambazo kila moja imemiss inahitaji electron ili iattain ile electronic configuration au ile stability. Sasa utakuta sasa zile nanometers mbili tofauti zina share their electrons. Kwa hiyo zile electrons zake zina share pamoja ili ziweze kuattain ile stability kwa pamoja. Zote ni nanometers. Kwamba hapa kwenye covalent compound we involve both nanometers. So it will be difficult to form those issue of the ionic zile ionization process between opposite charge. That's why unaona kwamba they do not conduct electricity. Kwa sababu ili tuweze kuconduct au to facilitate electricity, we need to have the different opposite charge ions ambapo ni positive and negative. Kwamba ile interaction ya kata ion and anion is where the electricity can be conducted or can be facilitated and so forth. So in this covalent it is difficult. That's why tunasema kwamba they do not conduct electricity. So that is all about the characteristic of this covalent bond. My student, haya ni maswali ambayo mostly yanapia kwenye mtihani. Na ni maswali ambayo hayakwepeki. Yaani ukiangalia ni mtihani wa ndani, mtihani wa nje, ni mtihani wa test tu ya kawaida, ni monthly test, ni midterm, whatever. Utaona ni maswali ambayo yapo yanapia katika past paper nyingi sana. So make sure unajua hata hizi characteristic. Zitakusaidia kuwa na more information about these types of bond, covalent and electrovalent. Okay, now let us see another concept known as the types of covalent bond. Kwamba kama utakumbuka tulisema kwamba in the issue of discussing these types of bond ambazo mainly zipo tatu: metallic bond, covalent and electrovalent or ionic. Tulisema kwamba we have to include the concept of dative bond. Sasa dative bond tunaipata wapi? Tutakuja kuipata huku sasa kwenye his categories or types of the covalent bond. So here anasema kwamba there are 3 types of covalent bonds, which are polar covalent, non-covalent, ambapo kwenye non-covalent mean that we are talking about normal covalent, and dative covalent bond. And also the dative bond, we are talking about the issue of coordinates. Kwa kutana na the terminology coordinate bond, usijoka confused when we talk about coordinate bond, similar when we talk about the dative bond. But also when we talk about non-covalent, maana kwamba we are talking about what? The normal covalent. But also we have this polar covalent. So these are mainly 3 types or category of the covalent bond. Usijoka confused. Tunapoongelea the types of bond zipo mainly 3. Ionic or electrovalent, covalent and metallic. Sasa tunapoangalia moja moja, maana yake kwamba sasa tunaona kwamba hapa kwenye covalent kuna mainly tena types or category 3. Therefore ndipo tunakutana na coordinate or dative bond, pia ndipo tunakutana na hizi non-covalent bond, lakini pia tunakutana na the issue of the polar covalent bond. So you have to note this. The formation of this type of bonds is based on the electronegativity of the bonding atoms. Kwamba hizi category za covalent bond formation yake, ili tuweze kuform the dative bond, tuweze kuform the polar bond, the non-polar or normal covalent bond, you can say that we depend on the main factor, which is all about electronegativity. The electronegativity of the bonding atom, the way zile atoms zimekuwa bonded together, ile electronegativity yake ndio main factor ambayo itafacilitate this formation of these types. Kwa hiyo tutakuwa na dative bond, lakini ukiangalia kwenye dative bond kitu ambacho kimefacilitate the formation obvious is this factor. That's why unaona hapa anasema note that the formation of these types of bonds, ina maana anaongelea zile types 3 za covalent. Anaongelea polar, na ni polar ambayo ndio normal covalent, lakini pia na dative or coordinate bond. Sasa ndipo anakuja kusema they are based on the electronegativity of the bonding atoms. Kwa hiyo zile atom ambazo zimejibondi together kutengeneza hii covalent compound ambayo imeform maybe polar na ni polar or dative, the main factor is all about the electronegativity. So my student, thank you so much. This is our first session. Let us proceed with the second session of this concept.